Well, good afternoon and welcome to Dons TV, Eagles TV, rugbyleague.com and West Yorkshire Radio. It's the Betfred Championship and it's round 25 as we bring you live coverage and action from the Club Doncaster Sports Village here in Doncaster, South Yorkshire. Well, Doncaster, they strengthened their grip on a top four finish with a comprehensive 44-16 victory over the Midland Hurricanes here last week. Richard Horne's side have now won 5 from their last 6 outings going into this huge South Yorkshire derby with the Sheffield Eagles as the fixtures come down to the final 2 and with Doncaster favourites for a top 4 spot in the championship table ahead of Barrow and Widnes and the Sheffield Eagles themselves. Well, Richard Horne delighted with his side, picking up 6 points in 7 days after wins over North Wales, Barrow and the Midland Hurricanes. Doncaster running in 7 tries here last Sunday against the Midland Hurricanes, with Australian hooker Connor Jones putting in a man-of-the-match display with his powerful and eye-catching runs out of acting half. That's an area that Sheffield will have to be alert to this afternoon. It was a period of just 26 minutes in which Doncaster scored 30 points either side of half-time, which blew the men from the Midlands away. Well, Sheffield Eagles, they made it 6 wins in a row at their new MPS, International Home of Football Stadium, with a tense, nervy 28-26 win over Hunslet. Sheffield were leading 28-16 with 10 minutes to go before a valiant and spirited comeback by Hunslet, which saw the Eagles left to hang on for the narrowest of victories. Well, that 28-26 victory, it was the perfect response to the previous weekend's disappointment against Oldham, who backed up that 31-30 win with a season high against the London Broncos last weekend. Well, for Craig Lingard and his Sheffield side, they know they must win their final 2 games against fellow top 6 hopefuls Doncaster and Widnes to have any chance, however remote, of getting inside the top 6 and an extra life in the playoffs, which start in only 2 weeks' time. Well, tries from Joe Brown, Connor Bauer, Alex Foster, Billy Walkley and Greg Eden were enough to see the Eagles return to winning ways last Sunday. In this huge South Yorkshire derby today, can the Eagles claim a huge scalp ahead of the playoffs? Well, without further ado, we'll go through the 2 teams. Doncaster make just 1 change this afternoon. Brad Knowles returns from suspension. He takes the spot of Louis McConnell, who's the 18th man. So Doncaster lining up with PNG star Adine Gebbie at fullback. Wing 3-quarter line, Luke Briscoe, Reece Lynn, Harvey Horn and Beretta Farimo. The halves former Sheffield man. He made 189 career appearances for the Eagles. He now represents the blue of Doncaster. He will partner Connor Robinson in the halves. The forwards returning from suspension, Brad Knowles, Connor Jones, Sui Matagi, and the back row, Alex Foster, Lewis Johnson, and watch out for the loose forward, former Leeds Castleford man, Moses Mustafa, and on the interchange bench, Jacob Jones, Tyler Heppy, Watson Bowis, and Huckiston Rovers loanee Tom Whitehead. Well, the Sheffield Eagles, however remote their chances are of a top 6 finish, they will be in the playoffs, and 2 weeks today, they potentially will be either in the top 6 with the extra life, or they will be facing one of the Midland Hurricanes, Whitehaven or the Batley Bulldogs. 2 changes made by Craig Lingard for this game. Lenny Ennis recalled from his loan spell at the Gould Vikings. He comes in for Ryan Miller. Will Oakes comes in for Alex Foster, who took a knock last week. So 2 changes made by Craig Lingard. It's Greg Egan at fullback, wing 3-quarter line of Joe Brown, Will Oakes, Kieran Gill and Billy Walkley. The halves, Lenny Ellis and Jordan Abdul. The forwards, Massimo Tongo, Corey Johnson and Martin Riley. Back row, Connor Bauer, Jack Bussey. Loose forward, George Griffin. And on the interchange bench for the Eagles, Connor Fitzsimmons, Rhys Butterworth, Harry Bowes and Lewis Peachy. The 18th men, Louis McConnell for Doncaster, Ryan Miller for the Sheffield Eagles. Well, already this week we've had a number of championship games that have already taken place. One of the games we brought you on the radio on Wednesday evening was that must-win game for Paul March and the Dewsbury Rams. They suffered defeat to Gary Thornton's Rochdale Hornets by 34 points to 22. So that means the top 10 is signed, sealed and delivered. The playoff teams will be London, Newcastle, Oldham, Doncaster, Widnes, Barrow, Sheffield, Midland Hurricanes, Whitehaven and Batley. The next fortnight, the final 2 rounds, the final 2 games for each of those sides. It's just a case in which order the championship top 10 sets itself and the opening round of those fixtures. Well, as we said yesterday, 2 games. Goole 32-28 winners over Swinton Lions, and Newcastle Thunder racking up the points once more. They cement their place second in the championship table, just behind the London Broncos after a convincing, comprehensive 56-20 win over the Midland Hurricanes. Well, it's just gone 3 o'clock here. We're waiting the arrival of the teams, and without further ado, out come Doncaster and Sheffield. He'll certainly be a marked man in the Eagles' defence. Well, Corey Aston, as we said, he made 189 appearances, scoring 58 tries for Sheffield over his 2 spells with the Eagles. He has a big job alongside Connor Robinson in the halves this afternoon. And let's not forget, this is looking like being Doncaster's biggest crowd of the season here as they celebrate their 75th anniversary. So Doncaster first out from the dressing rooms here. It's perfect conditions for Championship Rugby League. The Club Doncaster Stadium bathed in summer sunshine, 22 degrees approaching kick-off here on this lovely Sunday afternoon. And as we said, the big message from Craig Lingard this week is to build on that performance last week, which wasn't perfect by any imagination, but Sheffield learning a lot about themselves at the business end of the season, showing a lot of steel and resilience to hold on for that 28-26 victory over Hunsley. And for Doncaster, Richard Horne absolutely delighted. His part-time players, his part-time side, playing 3 games in just 7 days. That 20-try club record victory here a fortnight ago against North Wales, 120 points to 0. That midweek trip, never easy going to Cumbria, but they went to Barrow and they had come away from Craven Park with that 26-25 win. And then last week, another strong performance as they turned on the style either side of half-time. Well, here come the Sheffield Eagles. George Griffin, captain in the side, leads the Eagles out in their lime green shirts. If Connor Fitzsimmons comes off the interchange bench, he will make career appearance 200. What we can tell you is Connor Jones and Lewis Johnson, they start for Doncaster this afternoon, so they both make their 100th career appearances. They're proud Centurions. And in this big South Yorkshire derby here, as the championship reaches round 25, it's Connor Robinson who puts boot to ball. The referee for this one, it's the Australian from New South Wales. It's James Vella, and it's Massimo Tongo, the Zimbabwean, who has first use of the ball for the Eagles, and he's brought down 10 out from his own line on tackle number 1. Martin Riley on the second tackle, attracting a lot of attention early doors, 15 out. They're going to run it down the middle with a former Castleford man, Griffin. Moses Mustafa, straight out of that Doncaster defensive line alongside Lewis Johnson. Corey Johnson in his familiar position. of 9 last week in the halves, partner in Abdul. This time it's Lenny Ellis, recalled from the Ghoul Vikings. And it's a second strong carry here from Massimo Tongo. And he's 10 shy of halfway here in the summer sun on the last. So it's going to be Johnson to Abdul. Abdul straight down the throat there of Gebbe, who moves it on that left-hand side to the Kiwi, Beretta Farimo, and he's brought down 20 out from his own line. And Doncaster's first spell of possession here with 75 seconds gone. It's 0-0 on the scoreboard, and already you can sense something special might just be happening here in the Championship in this big South Yorkshire derby in front of Doncaster's biggest crowd of the season. They're on halfway here as it goes with Moses Mustafa, who very nearly breaks clear. Some desperate defence early doors from Massimo Tongo as we see Corey Aston now 20 out from that Sheffield line. This is the last. Connor Robinson from a centre field position kicks towards Briscoe. Ball's being knocked on or knocked backwards by Briscoe. It's picked up by Walkley. And Billy Walkley, who's having a fine season, scoring loads of tries for Craig Lingard's side. He was the quickest to react to that one. He's gone down a little bit, in a bit of pain there, Billy Walkley, as Joe Brown has possession for the Eagles in a centre field position, 20 metres out underneath the post. That's tackle free. Now it's going to be Martin Riley who carries the Eagles 10 metres forward, 20 shy of halfway. Billy Walkley in a bit of pain on this main stand side, and Martin Riley, the former witness man, has come up with an error here for the Eagles. James Vella, very, very quick there to make the decision. Say Martin Riley has not played the ball correctly, and that is going to be scrum head and feed to Doncaster. 30 out from the line. And you just saw Martin Riley, ball bobbled a little bit, and no real control. So got to say James Vella spot on with that early decision. That's gone against the Eagles. Perhaps a little bit of nerves from Martin Riley. Well, it is West Yorkshire Radio. It is Don's TV, Eagles TV, and it's going to be the former Wakefield man, Reece Lynn. For Doncaster, 20 out from the Sheffield line. Now back in centre field with Robinson. Here goes Sui Matage. 18 metres out, underneath the Sheffield post, centre field position. Jones, Aston, Johnson takes on Matongo and Bauer. Riley comes in. 3 desperate defenders there. Lewis Johnson will get to his feet. He'll get the quick play of the ball in. They're going towards the corner, towards Gebbe. It's picked up here, over on that left-hand side by Horn, I do believe. And the referee says play on. The ball went backwards. And here goes Moses Mustafa. Pass Riley towards the line. Moses Mustafa's got the game's opening try. And the former Leeds Castleford man gives Doncaster a 4-0 lead with 4 minutes gone on the clock. He scored last week in that 8-try victory over the Midland Hurricanes. He's backed that up with the game's opening try here in this big South Yorkshire derby. And after that Martin Riley error, Moses Mustafa, he opens the scoring. Too much power there. He attacks some tired, fatigued Eagles defence in the opening moments of this game. And as we see on the replay, it was Brown and Riley. They brought down Horn. Horn got the quick play of the ball in. And then it was Jones. Pass on the left. And Martin Riley, he went far too high there on Mrs. Mustafa. And that left Griffin and Matongo exposed. Doncaster opened the scoring. And they've punished that early Sheffield error here. As we say, 4 minutes gone in this one. I'm sure the message from Craig Lingard will be about that respect of the ball. You simply cannot give a team, a side like Doncaster, all those opportunities. Connor Robinson, he was 8 from 8 last week. He's 1 from 1 this afternoon. He converts from just to the left-hand side of the post. And on Dodds TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio, Meet the Game Caller Gleddle, Sunday afternoon Championship Rugby League. Connor Jones straight out of acting half, Drew Griffin too far towards the post, and it was that lovely pass on the inside. That scene, Moses Mustafa opening the scoring from around 10 metres out at the side of the post. Connor Robinson, as we said, prolific conversion, penalty kicker in the Championship. 6-0, Doncaster lead. Just shy of 6 minutes gone. Adine Gebe takes tackle 1 for Richard Horne's side on the restart, just outside his own 20-metre line. Aston now to Lynn. Lynn's 5 shy of the Doncaster 30. Now it's going to be Jones out of acting half. Short, quick ball. Johnson in defence and Riley. And he's going to run up to halfway here, Connor Jones. Rolled over in defence. That's tackle number 4. They're in a centre field position. Here goes Matagi. Runs straight into Griffin and Matongo. They're going through a lot of defence early doors here, the Eagles. This is the last. Corey Aston targets Walkley, who takes that 115 out from his own try line. 5 in from touch here at a sun-drenched club, Doncaster Sports Village. And now Sheffield with a bit of work to do because they're on tackle number 2 here with Kieran Gill. Here goes Joe Brown. 30 shy of halfway, playing it on his own 20, centre field. Doncaster's defence keeping the Eagles at bay thus far. Corey Johnson out of acting half to Martin Riley. This will be the last for the Eagles. They've only made 20 metres and they're going to kick from just outside their own 30-metre line as Reece Lynn puts a bit of pressure on Jordan Abdul, but Abdul, the former England man, gets that kick away, but it's gone straight down the throat of Adine Gebe, and he draws in Bauer and Oakes over on that left-hand side. And I think that's a fairly respectable kick-chase effort there from Sheffield, because Doncaster tackle 2 now. They find themselves on their own 30-metre line as Beretta Farimo plays the ball. Now it's going to be Aston to Briscoe. Briscoe steps past 1, past 2, moves the ball in centre field through Moses Mustafa. He opened the scoring after 4 minutes, and they're up and over halfway now with Sui Matagi. He's rolled over by Bauer. This is tackle number 4. Aston runs straight towards Abdul. And Abdul, a huge Sheffield brick wall there, bringing down the former Eagles man. 30 out, last tackle. Robinson kicks towards Eden. Eden takes it, forced back by Lynn and Connor Jones. And once again, the Eagles kicking game, or should I say the Doncaster kicking game, causing the Eagles a whole host of problems. But we've just had the game's first penalty of the afternoon. The Doncaster kick chase, catching Billy Walkley far too high on that one, and James Vella very, very quick to blow the whistle. And you could just see Moses Mustafa involved in that tackle on Billy Walkley. So the game's first penalty, and a relieving penalty at that, because this is going to advance the Eagles 10 shy of halfway. And here they go with Kieran Gill, dragged back by Aston and Johnson. He'll play it, 5 in from touch. Now it's Abdul. Martin Riley has it, attracting 3 of those blue-shirted Doncaster defenders. They're going to have a play the ball finally inside the Doncaster half here. There's a lovely offload from Ellis to Eden. Now it's going to go with Bussey, and Jack Bussey, he's rolled over, appealing for a penalty. Nothing coming from James Vella. Massi Matongo goes straight down the middle, and that's good there from Massi Matongo. That's tackle 4. They move it with Abdul, 30 out, 20 out now with Bussey. Second carry from him. And Sheffield trailing 6-0, 20 metres out. This is the last. Johnson to Abdul. That magic left foot kick, looking for Brown towards the corner. Sui Matagi under that one. And that was great there. Sorry, Beretta Farimo under that one. And it remains 6-0 to Doncaster here. And that was a much, much better set of 6 there. Although James Vella will even the penalty count here. Martin Riley, George Griffin penalised by the Australian official. So a penalty apiece. And if you're just joining us here, 10 minutes gone on the clock. Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio. Doncaster leading 6-0, courtesy of that Moses Mustafa score after 4 minutes. Game's just settled down in the last 5, finding a little bit of rhythm. So, penalty apiece. Horn, on loan from Hulkiston Rovers. He will tap and go. And that's tackle 1. 5 shy of halfway, over on that far stand side, that heavily populated main stand here. Enjoying this one in the sunshine as Moses Mustafa takes the ball out the back from Johnson before being brought down a couple of metres shy of that halfway line. Going to get to the feet and they're going to play it. As we say, Doncaster, they lead 6-0. That one change made by Richard Horn. Brad Knowles for Louis McConnell. Sheffield making 2. Lenny Ellis for Ryan Miller and Will Oakes for Brad Foster. Now they're going to be 10 inside the Eagles half. As Connor Jones, the Australian, runs and is 20 out in front of the post on the last tackle. Aston to Robinson. Robinson targets Brown in the sunshine. Brown loses possession. It goes backwards and it's in the in-goal area. Sheffield kick the ball. Dead in goal. Safety first from the Eagles. And we've just seen the boot once again of Connor Robinson causing both Billy Walkley and on this occasion Joe Brown a little bit of hesitancy there. He knocked the ball back towards his own line, did Brown, and it was Lenny Ellis who kicks that one. Alex Sutcliffe and Adine Gebe looking to pounce on the ball in the in-goal area. So 12 minutes gone in this one. Sheffield forced to drop out. Abdul, he's gone short. He's gone a short 10. Can they get the ball? They are going to get the ball with Greg Eden. Greg Eden gives it to Brown. That is miraculous rugby league football from the Eagles, and Brown's playing it just shy of halfway. And here goes Connor Bauer, the former York man, up to halfway on tackle number 2. Well, Doncaster were caught short there over on that right-hand side. And now we find Martin Riley, who's entangled there with Lewis Johnson. Quick play the ball. Corey Johnson to Ellis. Eden. Ball goes to Oakes. Oakes bounces off 1, fends off 2, goes past 3. He's still going Will Oakes. He runs past Moses Mustafa. He's still going Will Oakes. He gets the ball back to Johnson. Picked up here. It's Ellis who's got it. And Lenny Ellis now looking for support. He's 10 metres out. And Sheffield, the stirring. Can they get their first try? Abdul into the in-goal area and Connor Bauer's in. It's a miraculous 40-second passage of play from the Sheffield Eagles. Jordan Abdul went short. They got the ball back. Eden was away up to halfway. And then on the last tackle, Jordan Abdul rolled the ball into the in-goal area. It was picked up by Connor Bauer. And he has crossed for his 8th try of the season. Doncaster 6, Sheffield 4. That was quite spectacular from the Eagles, getting the ball back short from the dropout. Will Oakes bouncing off 1, sidestepping 2, offloading past 3 and 4. Lenny Ellis playing the ball on the last, 10 away. Abdul, left-footed kick, and it just rolled up into the arms of Connor Bauer. And despite the best efforts of 2 or 3 Doncaster defenders, James Vella cleared the onside and the grounding. Well, we might have one heck of a game here for you this afternoon because it's Doncaster 6, Sheffield 4. And after Moses Mustafa opened the scoring, an opportunity here for the Sheffield Eagles. Can they narrow the gap here? Well, he's just scored the try, Connor Bauer. And it's looking like Connor Bauer is going to be the man to take the conversion. Well, he was free from free with a boot in that game against Oldham. So can Connor Bauer, who kicked free from free in the previous away game against Oldham, that 31-30 heartbreaker for the Eagles, he is 1 from 1. It's Doncaster 6, Sheffield 6. We've had 15 minutes gone on the clock. The Eagles have just gone up the field in professional fashion. And they have come up with their first points. And you've got to say, thoroughly deserved. And on Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio, it's 6 points apiece. As Connor Robinson gets us back underway here. Billy Walkley takes it in the own goal area. He gives it back on the inside to Moses Mustafa, who's bounced out of the way by Matongo. And Matongo plays it, tackle one. Sui Matagi, Alex Sutcliffe in defence there for the Dons. And all of a sudden, Sheffield have got a new lease of life here after doing it tough in the opening 5 minutes. Growing in confidence and stature, you can sense, as Joe Brown carries it in on tackle 3, just shy of his own 30-metre line. Former Castleford man, George Griffin, now 15 shy from halfway, tackle 4. Martin Riley along the line to Matongo, and Masi Matongo has made 5 metres inside the Doncaster half. 5th and last tackle. Abdul kicks. He targets Gebby. Gebby takes it on his own 10-metre line, runs into Gill, Eden and Bussey. And I think Craig Lingard will be delighted with the Sheffield response that is stirring here. Doncaster now being asked questions of their forwards in this energy-sapping August heat here, as Briscoe carries Doncaster 10 shy of halfway. He'll play it. They're going to go out of acting half here from Connor Jones. Up to halfway. Tackle 4, 1 to go on the set, I believe. So Doncaster inside the Sheffield half. Moses Mustafa's caught the ball there from a standing start, and he's not really able to make much impact. Last tackle, back to halfway. Corey Aston under pressure. Targets Walkley. Walkley takes this one, and he's got Johnson and Lynn ahead of him. And Billy Walkley does well. He's brought down 20 shy of halfway, tackle 1. Eden in acting half. Now to Lenny Ellis. To Brown. Joe Brown, a former York Bradford man. 20 shy of halfway, tackle 2. Here's Connor Bauer, who come up with the first points with the try and the conversion. 15 shy of halfway. Eden out of acting half. There's no one with him, so he's just going to have to go himself before he's met by Alex Sutcliffe on halfway. And Martin Riley now is going to carry the Eagles 10 out, or should I say 10 inside the Doncaster half on their last tackle. Doncaster 6, Sheffield 6. Once again, Abdul kicks from the halfway line. He's put far too much on that one as Jordan Abdul. That is going to be a tap on the 20 for Doncaster, so they will get the extra tackle on this set. And with 18 minutes gone here, it's still a try apiece. Moses Mustafa for Doncaster, Connor Bauer for the Sheffield Eagles. So Doncaster on tackle 1. 10 metres shy of that halfway line here with Horn, who gets a quick play of the ball in. Now it's Briscoe to Lynn, and Lynn grappling with Gill. Does exceptionally well there, the former Hull Wakefield man. He's 10 inside the Sheffield half. Now it's Aston along the line to Robinson. Here goes Horn. Horn takes in Ellis, Oakes and Brown, and he's 15 out. Here is Harvey Horn. Gets the quick play, the ball in. Doncaster in the mood to spread it as Aston kicks, looking for Briscoe. Briscoe trying to trap and pin Walkley in his own goal area, but he's done well there, Billy Walkley. Put his body on the line, pulled up the handbrake. And while Sheffield might have avoided another goal line dropout, they're on tackle number 3 here with Joe Brown, 5 out from their own line as Doncaster look to keep Sheffield penned deep. Here goes Will Oakes though. Oh, good strong run there once again from Will Oakes. And now they're going on attacking on the short side with Ellis to Brown. Brown can't take it in. Oh, Joe Brown. A bit of frustration there. Just kicking the advertisement hard in. Could see what they were trying to do for Eden, and Ellis trying to draw in Beretta for him over on that far stand side. Doncaster's left edge defensively, Sheffield's right edge attack. There was just a half chance there after Doncaster had kept a lot of their big men to compact the Eagles down the middle. Well, the last time in a similar position, 30 out from their own line, the Eagles came up with the error. Doncaster scored. Is Lightning about to strike twice for Richard Horne's side? Was his Mustafa tackle too? 15 out underneath the Eagles' post. 20 minutes gone here. Still 6 points apiece as we see Brad Knowles carrying the ball in. He spent 3 seasons at the Sheffield Eagles, winning that 1895 Cup, you might remember. Now it's Robinson Aston to Briscoe. Briscoe steps on the inside of Walkley. He's looking for support. It's Briscoe. He's doing it all himself. He's brought down 2 metres out. He can see the Sheffield try line as Gebby's at acting half. Gives it to Johnson. Johnson moves it in centre field to Aston, to Robinson. Robinson kicks to Beretta Ferrimo, but he's put too much on it, Conor Robinson. That one's gone sailing out on the full, on the touchline. That will be Doncaster's second error in this opening quarter. So 2 errors apiece, a penalty apiece, and a try apiece. Doncaster 6, Sheffield 6. Nothing at all to split these 2 South Yorkshire rivals here as the championship reaches round 25. Well, this afternoon we've got games featuring Barrow and Whitehaven, Dewsbury Batley, Hunslet Rochdale, London hosting Halifax, North Wales against Keighley and Widnes Workington. We'll do our best at half-time to give you latest score updates and a live table reading. As we said, going into this one, Sheffield need to win here and then on Thursday against the Widnes Vikings to get inside the top 6. Here goes Corey Johnson to Martin Riley. They're up to halfway here. Late on this set of 6 after Doncaster kicked the ball out on the full. And once again, they're going towards Joe Brown over on that right-hand side. Conor Bauer has it, gives it to Brown. Brown kicks, but the bounce of the ball is kind for Gebby. And the former PNG Hunter star, he was in the best place there. Richard Horne ringing the changes here. Tyler Hepick coming on alongside Tom Whitehead. And there's a chance here for Briscoe, who breaks, finds the support of Ferrimo. He's 10 inside the Sheffield half, and all of a sudden, Sheffield is switched off there defensively. Connor Jones to Muzzi's Mustafa, 30 out, centre field. 6 points apiece, 23 gone on the clock, 17 to go to half-time as Lewis Johnson bus clear. Bussy brings him down, 15 out, 10 in from this main stand side. Connor Jones now to Whitehead. They're going to go down the middle here. Brad Knowles taking a well-deserved breather and rest on the touchline as Tyler Heppy plays it on the last, underneath the post. Connor Jones passes off the ground. It comes off the top of Briscoe. But they're going to say George Griffin's offside. I think that's the call from James Vella. They're going to say the Eagles' defence encroached. We're all off their own try line. Well, Connor Jones, yeah, ball carrying arm. It's not hit the ground. And you've got 2 or 3 Sheffield defenders there who are in front of the try line. Well, they're not going to go for 2 here. Doncaster back in their sense of conviction. They can breach the Eagles' line here. So, Robinson. Oh, well, James Vella's put whistle to lips here. Robinson had it right in front of the Sheffield post. I think James Vella's going to say Doncaster have come up with a costly error early in that play. Let's see what happens. Conor Bauer all over Alex Sutcliffe. And I think they're going to say the former Leeds man has knocked it on at the play of the ball. Well, that was tackle number 1. Well, that's a coach killer for Richard Horne. It's still Doncaster 6, Sheffield 6. 25 minutes gone, 15 to go to half-time. Brown plays it on the Eagles' 20-metre line. Kieran Gill, the former Bradford man, he's 25 out from halfway. Now they're going to go down the middle with Griffin, leading by example. He draws in Whitehead and Hepe. And now Corey Johnson towards Harry Bowes. And Sheffield, 5 shy of halfway on that last tackle. Once again, they'll look to find Abdul, who kicks from his own 40-metre line. Doncaster They're going to let the ball bounce here. Briscoe takes it 5 out from his own line. Walkley, Gill, Bussett, Griffin in defence. And it's going to be Harry Bowes and Martin Riley who bring him down. On tackle number 1, 20 out. Sheffield offside, says James Vella. So he's going to say play on. Boos and jeers from the Doncaster faithful. I think they wanted the penalty rather than any advantage, but play on is the call. Doncaster have it with Gebby, 15 shy of halfway. Jones at acting half. Gives it to Lynn. And Reece Lynn makes it to halfway. Centre field position. Down the middle, they're going to go here with Tyler Heppy. Fresh legs off the interchange bench. Last tackle, Doncaster with Whitehead. Now to Aston. Was Aston taken late by Harry Bowes? He was. James Vella is going to penalise Harry Bowes for making dangerous contact on the former Sheffield man. And it's another penalty to Doncaster. 10 out from the Eagles line. Well, it was the last tackle play. They moved it on this right-hand side. And Harry Bowes penalised for not really making any attempt to wrap there. So 3 penalties to 1 against the Eagles at Doncaster with 13 minutes to go to half-time. Once again, they're going to decline the option of 2 points and they're going to try and get their second try of the afternoon. Moses Mustafa, tackle 1, plays it to the right-hand side of the post. Connor Robinson, he's brought down 2 metres out from that Sheffield try line. Sutcliffe in there and acting half. Now to Jones. They're going to front up here with Whitehead. He's stood underneath and he's in the in-goal area. And James Vella says held up in goal. Back to the 10 you go. Tackle number 3. So Whitehead will play the ball. Jones now to Aston. Gebby slips. Ball and all tackle from Kieran Gill, who flattens Gebby. 10 out. And now Doncaster giving the ball to Heppy, who offloads the ball to Jones. And Connor Jones is brought down there by Connor Bauer and Corey Johnson. This is the last tackle for Doncaster. Once again, Corey Aston, crossfield kick, looking for Briscoe. Briscoe's knocked the ball forward. It's got into touch. It's a 4th error from Doncaster. It's happened on the last play. And Sheffield, their defensive resilience has seen them keep the scoreboard at 6 points apiece. Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio. And here's a very special, proud moment for Connor Fitzsimmons, who's about to come off the interchange bench for his 200th career Rugby League appearance. So Connor Fitzsimmons, he comes on for George Griffin. His 9th appearance for the Eagles, and a very special moment for him. Joe Brown, 10 metres down the middle, is 30 out from his own line, appealing for a penalty. Nothing forthcoming from James Vella. Harry Bowes caught on the shoulder by Sutcliffe. Sheffield, 10 shy of halfway as Reece Butterworth also comes off the interchange bench. Martin Riley down the middle, 10, 15, 20, 25 metres made there by the former witness man. They're on the last, 35 out. Abdul kicks, Walkley against Gebby. Walkley's taken it and gives it to Gill. And Kieran Gill will skip around and put the ball down at the side of the post. And the former Bradford Bulls man, he has given the Sheffield Eagles the lead here. It's his 13th try of the season for Kieran Gill. He scored 2 tries on Sheffield's first game of the season. That was way back in February. Kieran Gill, 2 tries on his Eagles debut in that 11-4 win against Whitehaven. He's now got 6 tries in his last 7 games for the Eagles. Jordan Abdul on the last left-footed kick. It was taken superbly by Walkley. Walkley drew in Briscoe and Lane, and somehow Billy Walkley smuggled that ball out to Kieran Gill, and the former Bradford Bulls man has dotted the ball down around and at the side of the post. And that has come against the run of the play, because after those 2 back-to-back penalties, And all that defensive pressure on that Sheffield line, Doncaster couldn't breach this Sheffield defensive resolve. And Craig Lingard, in the traditional Eagles vest, polo top and the sandals, he's gone from his coaching position down to the touchline, talking to Corey Johnson and George Griffin. He'll be delighted with the response from the Eagles, because we've just hit the 30th minute here. And there's a chance now for Connor Bauer, yet to miss a conversion this season.
Yes.
He does add on an extra 2. It's Doncaster 6, Sheffield 12. Back-to-back scores, 15 minutes apart from the Eagles. On the last tackle, Abdul, Billy Walkley, he timed his run to perfection. He out-jumped Gebbe, took the ball, smuggled it out on the left to Gill. And because he'd drawn the attention of Briscoe and Lynn, Kieran Gill was allowed to go around. And at the side of the post, Doncaster 6, Sheffield 12. Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio. Sheffield about to throw a huge spanner on Doncaster's hopes of a top 4 finish, and also their own prospects of getting inside the top 6. On the restart, Connor Bauer, just outside the Eagles' 20-metre line. We've got 9 or so minutes to go to half-time, as Will Oakes now carries the Eagles 15 shy of halfway. And all of a sudden, it's Sheffield who are asking questions of this Doncaster defence. They're on the last tackle. Connor Bauer, his finger's kicking towards the corner, but Gebbe's going to have to get there. And the bounce of the ball is kind there for Radine Gebbe, the former Whitehaven man. And that was good play from Sheffield. Bit unorthodox when you see a back row forward put boot to ball, but as we've seen with his conversion kicking, Connor Bauer, he's got a neat little right foot there, and it was perfectly weighted. What can Doncaster do here? They're just outside their own 20-metre line, looking for those willing forwards to do the hard yards early in the tackle count, build that platform. Corey Aston back on the inside to Heppy. Heppy meets Butterworth and Bowes. And this is the last for Doncaster. The 5 shy of halfway. Goes back here to Corey Aston. Under pressure from Butterworth. Out on the full. And the former Sheffield man has come up with another error here. That's a 5th in this first half that Doncaster have come up with. And it's going to give Sheffield a full set of 6. 40 metres out from the Doncaster line. Well, if Sheffield can get a 3rd try here, this is going to put immense pressure on Richard Horne and Doncaster. Connor Fitzsimmons tackle 1. 35 out. Now Butterworth to Abdul. Eden in the line, loses possession. Recovered by Sheffield. Referee says it went backwards. Richard Horne appealing, saying there was a knock on there. Well, James Vella saying the ball went back from Eden. Butterworth's playing it 20 metres out. Now Will Oakes has lost possession. Doncaster kick clear. There's a chance here for Beretta Ferimo. He's knocked the ball on, and James Vella's going to bring play back here. The touch judge is telling James Vella, we've got to go back. The Doncaster supporters absolutely incensed. They feel that a Doncaster player was impeded off the ball, and I think James Vella is going to say knock on against Will Oakes. But you could just see there, I think it's Corey Aston, he was pulled. He had the shirt pulled by the Sheffield player. Got to say, calling this one absolutely dead set neutral. James Vella's missed that one. They will get the ball, will Doncaster. But it should have been a penalty to Doncaster near halfway, where Corey Aston was impeded. As it is, that one has gone the way of the Eagles. Craig Lingard will be a little bit disappointed there after putting pressure on Corey Johnson to force him to kick out on the full. Doncaster now playing a quick play of the ball with Riesling. Now it's Lewis Johnson. He's brought down over on this right-hand side, the former Hull KR Castleford man. Quick play of the ball, and here goes Riesling for his second carry. 5 inside the Sheffield half. Another quick play of the ball, and here goes Connor Jones. Connor Jones through a gap, looks for support. There was no one there. Desperate defence there from Greg Eden, and all of a sudden Doncaster, the 20 out from the Sheffield line. We've got 5 to go to half-time here. And it's going to be straight down the middle once again. Big strong run here for Doncaster. Quick play the ball. This is the last. Aston calls for it. Aston gets it. Gives it to Johnson. Johnson through a huge gap. And on the power play, Doncaster running in. And we could be level. Minutes to go to half-time. Lovely play there from Lewis Johnson. Spent 4 seasons at Doncaster Rovers before injuries saw him released. He's rebuilding his rugby league career now in the Championship, and he's just come up with his 9th try of the season on his 23rd appearance. And the former Doncaster Rovers man, he's always had that powerful edge to his game, and that powerful running edge is what has taken him past Jordan Abdul, past Harry Bowes, and despite a last-gasp valiant attempt from Billy Walkley, it's looking like we could be level here at the club Doncaster Sports Village. Well, we built this one up as potentially being one of the championship games of the season, and it's certainly delivering that, because with 37 minutes gone, we could be about to have a level scoreboard here. Mustafa and now Johnson for Doncaster. Connor Robinson, 2 from 2. We're locked up. Minutes to go to half-time. It's Doncaster 12, Sheffield Eagles 12. Well, Craig Lingard will be a little bit disappointed that there was that huge gap and all that space there for Lewis Johnson to exploit. Once again, Sheffield's defence going far too high. You saw that for the first try that allowed Moses Mustafa to open the scoring. And it's just happened again, lightning striking twice. And with 2 minutes to go to half-time here, Doncaster and Sheffield all locked up at 12 points apiece. Lovely play there, you've got to say, from Corey Aston. The restart from Abdul. We'll see Tyler Heppy running in a Lewis Peachy, who's just come off the interchange bench for Craig Lingard's side. And I think both coaches will be relatively pleased when the half-time order sounds. That next score after half-time, we feel, going to be absolutely crucial. Well, Doncaster, they're hunting and probing a 3rd try here. This is where they're dangerous. Although Jacob Jones, the former Lee man who's just come off the interchange bench, he's been adjudged to have knocked the ball on here. 40 out. That's a 7th error now for Doncaster in this first half. Sheffield on 3 errors. And on Dons TV, Eagles TV and West Yorkshire Radio, Sunday afternoon Championship Rugby League with Mick the Game caller Gleddle. It's 12 points apiece here. A championship thriller in South Yorkshire. Abdul from the scrum, kicks for Walkley. Walkley against Gebby, but Gebby gets there. And that was clever play there from Jordan Abdul. Unfortunately, Doncaster scrambled back. And with just a minute remaining at the end of this first half, this could be Doncaster's last spell of possession. They're on tackle 3. Playing it here with Whitehead just outside his own 20-metre line. Connor Robinson has to lurch forward, inches off the ground to take that hospital ball out of acting half there. Connor Jones, this time the pass is a bit more conservatively, and they go straight down the middle here with Moses Mustafa. Reece Butterworth in defence with Harry Bowes. This is the last tackle for Doncaster. Connor Robinson kicks towards the corner. Eden lets it bobble into the 20. Now he looks up. and sees that there's 4 or 5 blue-shirted Doncaster defenders there. 30 seconds left at the end of this first half. Joe Brown just runs it out of acting half, and he's 20 shy of halfway. It's looking like we're going into the sheds at 12 points apiece. And the biggest 40 minutes of both Doncaster and Sheffield seasons, as Rhys Butterworth looks for a 40-20. He's put under pressure by Sutcliffe. The ball's going to race down into the Doncaster half, and the hooter imminent. The hooter sounds, and the final play of a captivated, thrilling, breathless first 40 minutes in this South Yorkshire derby sees Doncaster 12, Sheffield 12. Early doors, Sheffield under a barrage of Doncaster pressure after coming up with an early error through Martin Riley from that scrum. It resulted in Moses Mustafa crossing and opening the scoring after 4 minutes. 6-0 Doncaster led inside 5. And from there on then, there was a 15-minute period where Sheffield showed a lot of steel, a stirring response, backed up by that defensive redoubtability that Craig Lingard has instilled in his side. They came back with Connor Bauer after Jordan Abdul had fed the ball into the in-goal area for Bauer to regather. And then one of the tries of Sheffield's season, no doubt, Abdul on the last. He kicked up, Walkley took it, passed on the outside to Gill, and Sheffield led 12-6 against the run of play. That was after Doncaster had a number of sets inside the Sheffield half. They just couldn't convert that territorial possession and pressure into points on the board. And what will please Richard Horne is Lewis Johnson, that equalising try that gives us a half-time scoreboard of 12 points apiece. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes as we pause from the Championship as it reaches round 25, the penultimate round of the Championship season for 2026. Well, welcome back to Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio. Half-time here at the club Doncaster Sports Village on a very special afternoon where Doncaster Rugby League Football Club celebrate their 75th anniversary, with celebrations continuing post-match. It's looking like being Doncaster's biggest crowd of the season, and they're certainly being treated to a very special game here with a level scoreboard at half-time of 12 points apiece. Well, if you are watching this one on the live stream, wherever you are in the world, I can assure you it's a lovely, resplendent 22 degrees here in South Yorkshire. Half-time scores elsewhere in the Championship. Barrow 18, Whitehaven 10. Dewsbury Rams 4, Batley 30 in the Heavy Woolen Derby. It's Hunslet and Rochdale 12 points apiece at the South Leeds Stadium, whilst down in the capital, London showing a stirring, strong response after they suffered their first defeat of the season last week to Oldham. Oldham themselves in a bit of a battle, only 18 points to 16, a lead of 2 for Alan Kilshaw's side at Boundary Park in that game. North Wales Crusaders 0, Keighley Cougars 46. And then what looks to be a strong first half performance for Alan Coleman and the Widnes Vikings. They're leading Workington Town by 26 points to 0. Well, don't forget, Thursday evening, it is Sheffield Eagles against the Widnes Vikings. That game taking place at Sheffield's new MEPS, International Home of Football Stadium in Derbyshire, Dronefield. Someone who's frequented that ground in the last few weeks. It's only 12 minutes on a train out of Sheffield Station, and certainly a lovely new home for Craig Lingard and the Eagles to build and grow. Well, as you can see on your screens, Doncaster, they're already out, ready to go for the second half, closely followed by the Sheffield Eagles. Well, as we said, the kicking game of Jordan Abdul, that has been key and crucial in Sheffield's first half performance. And Craig Lingard, he'll be absolutely delighted that that first half performance from the Eagles was built on those good, honest principles behind defensive resilience and that connected attacking cohesion. Well, James Vella just making sure everything's good to go. He puts whistle to lips, and it's just gone 4 o'clock here on West Yorkshire Radio. Dons TV, Eagles TV, Doncaster, a big 40 minutes for them in the second half. Can they strengthen their grip on a top 4 finish ahead of the playoffs, which start 2 weeks today for the Eagles? A victory here, they know a victory on Thursday against Widnes would put them in the 6. So here we go. Doncaster, they'll have first use of the ball, and it's going to be Aston to Lynn, who's 8 metres shy of the halfway line, right at the start of this second half. 40 seconds gone. Whitehead, Heppy, up to halfway. The former Castleford man, quick play the ball. Corey Aston draws in Peachy, gets the kick away, targets Walkley. Billy Walkley caught there by Aston and Whitehead, and that's tackle number 1, Sheffield. Level scoreboard, remember. First half tries from Bauer and Gill for the Dons, Mustafa and Johnson. And now here goes Brown, just outside his own 30-metre line. Butterworth in that acting half. Harry Bowes, the former Wakefield Featherstone man. He's brought down there by Heppy and Whitehead. It's going to be a short crash ball down the middle here for Lewis Peachy. 5 shy of halfway. This is the 5th and last tackle. Kick comes in from Abdul. It's a difficult one for Gebby to take. And look at Dean Gebby go. Took it from his 20. He's brought down 15 shy of halfway. And now there's an opportunity here for Doncaster to build right at the start of this second half. Beretta Farimo brought down 5 shy of halfway, tackle 2. Here goes Briscoe. Wrapped up there by Bauer and Ellis. Lenny Ellis coming in, remember, with Kai Morgan and Jordan Lilly out injured for the Eagles. Aston, centre field, moves it along the line towards the main stand here. And that's going to be Lewis Johnson who's playing it, 5 inside the Sheffield half. Now it's Reece Lynn. And Reece Lynn caught there by 3 hungry Eagles defenders. The 30 out on the last. Robinson runs, kicks, targets Brown. Brown lets the ball bounce, palms it in the in-goal area, still stays in, but he's trapped in goal. It's the second goal line dropout that Doncaster have forced. The forced one in the first half, the forced one right at the start of the second. The boot of Robinson causing Joe Brown no end of problems there in the sunshine. Horn, Sutcliffe, the 2 Doncaster kick chasers, trapping the former York Bradford man. Well, Joe Brown, 6 tries in his last 4 games, including a hat-trick at home in that 8-try round 22 win over Halifax. Abdul's gone short. This time Doncaster deal with Abdul's short kick-off. Farimo plays the ball, tackle 1. Gebby, tackle 2. Doncaster all of a sudden 10 metres out from that Sheffield line. Looking to retake the lead here. It's Doncaster 12, Sheffield 12. Tom Whitehead, 3 appearances for Doncaster Rovers this season. Gets to his feet, he'll play it. And Lewis Johnson's in for a double. He went to the right, shifted to the left. It's a shimmy, a shake, and Sheffield's defence bamboozled. Doncaster 16, Sheffield 12. Lewis Johnson is in double figures now for tries scored. He's up to 10 for the season. And the former witness, Doncaster Rovers man, he just made that one look far too easy. It was a drop ball from Robinson to Whitehead. He was brought down by Fitzsimmons and Butterworth underneath the Sheffield post. And then it was Connor Jones to Aston. Aston to Johnson. Oh, and there's a big gap there in the Eagles' defence, which will not please Craig Lingard. After working so hard at times in that first half, those good honest principles behind that defensive resilience just crumbling a little bit there. And that's the perfect start for Richard Horn and his Doncaster side, as Lewis Johnson gets a double and Connor Robinson from underneath the post with a kick predictor at 100%. He restores Doncaster's 6-point lead. So 4 minutes gone. Doncaster starting the second half just like they started the first, with that early Moses Mustafa try. They've crossed early. And with 4 gone in this second half, Lewis Johnson in for his second, his 10th for the season. Connor Robinson free from free. And that's just the tonic Richard Horn would have wanted as Doncaster look to strengthen their grip on a top 4 finish and a home fixture in the playoffs. Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio back underway here via the boot of Jordan Abdul. And Doncaster 10 away from their own line here with Tyler Heppy on tackle number 1. Here goes Briscoe. Targets Bowes and Bauer. And he's lost the ball, but the referee is going to say it's been stolen. James Vella will say one of Bauer and Bowes forced the ball out. 6 penalties to 2 now against the Eagles. Briscoe running it in. It's Connor Bauer's right arm. It's very difficult to see on the replay. Definitely 2 Sheffield men involved in that tackle. So I say we do have the benefit here of the big screen and the replays at the club Doncaster Sports Village. So that penalty, Doncaster's 6th, will piggyback them up to halfway. Connor Robinson plays it 10 inside the Sheffield half. Harvey Horn brought down by Eden. He'll play it now. Centre field, they go with Whitehead. Spreading it wide to Gebby. Gebby brought down by Abdul and Gill. 25 out now. Doncaster with Reece Lane. Past Abdul. Back on the inside. They've just lost it as Whitehead. It's going to be a free play. And here goes Billy Walkley. And Billy Walkley can run. And Walkley, 5 shy of halfway, being held down in the tackle. James Vella just says that's a set restart to the Eagles. So this will be tackle 1. And the 10 metres or so inside the Doncaster half. Well, that's an 8th error now from Doncaster. They're first in the second half. And with 8 minutes gone, Doncaster 18, Sheffield 12. Can the Eagles fight back here? Tyler Heppy, loose carry. Billy Walkley picking it up and going nearly 40 metres up to halfway. And here goes Lenny Ellis. He's caught high by Alex Sutcliffe. So Sheffield given their 3rd penalty of the afternoon, their first in the second half. Reece Butterworth not even contemplating, looking towards Craig Lingard about taking 2. 18-12, you need to win at all costs to try and get in the top 6. Sheffield already in the playoffs, as we've said, for a number of weeks now, but finishing in the top 6, you get the extra life and you get the home playoff game. Another set restart here now as Harry Bowes is being held in the tackle. Abdul moves it on that left-hand side. Desperate defence there from Lewis Johnson. Sheffield, they're going to try and pitch one. Connor Fitzsimmons over the line. Has he got it down on career appearance 200? Connor Fitzsimmons denied. Reece Lane involved in that defensive play with Luke Briscoe. We're going back to the 10. Sheffield reset, reload. Here goes Lewis Peachy. Draws in 3 Doncaster defenders. Just to the left of the post. Now they go left with Abdul. Gill denied by Lynn. Dogged defence here from the Dons. Abdul now to Fitzsimmons. And Connor Fitzsimmons, he's brought down 5 out. This is the last play here for the Eagles. Ellis has it to Eden. Eden kicks, Egan regathers, and Greg Eden put it down before the dead ball line. And Sheffield have scored their 3rd try of the afternoon. And all of a sudden, with 10 minutes gone in this second half, we potentially could be locked up. Well, Greg Eden, it's his 3rd club of 2026. He started the season at the North Wales Crusaders, making 11 appearances. Then he had 2 games at the Bradford Bulls. And on his 9th appearance in the lime green of the Eagles, he's got his 8th try of the season. And he has got that one down before the dead ball line. It was a lovely power play move from the Sheffield Eagles. Greg Eden on the power play, he did it all himself. He took on the A and B markers, kicked behind him. There was no one at home in the in-goal area. And he got that one down in the nick of time. A superb individual score. And as we've just seen, a superb individual score for Lewis Johnson. Greg Egan has just done the same. No pressure on Connor Bauer here. This one, 15 or so to the right-hand side of the post. 15 metres out. Can he lock this game up? Well, this game here this afternoon, quite a contrast to when the sides met at Easter. It was Doncaster who ran out convincing 46-0 winners at the then home of Sheffield, the Steel City Stadium. There was a brace of tries from James Glover and Connor Jones on that afternoon. And Connor Bauer is free from free here. And all of a sudden, Sheffield just growing with their confidence and belief. They've been very, very brave defensively to withstand and repel a number of Doncaster attacking plays. Well, Connor Robinson won't be pleased watching that replay because he had an opportunity to get that ball there. He felt it was going dead, and Eden just creeped behind him and got downward pressure. Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio. It's Doncaster 18, Sheffield 18 here in the lovely, resplendent South Yorkshire sunshine at the club, Doncaster Sports Village. So, 29 minutes to go as Connor Fitzsimmons plays it underneath his own post on his own 20-metre line. Connor Bauer, 25 away from halfway. Harry Bowes takes the inside ball from Butterworth. Sheffield just building themselves into this game here as Abdul kicks early on 4, and it's a clever kick from Abdul because it's gone to the left-hand side of Gebbit and turned him around, and the kick's is only as good as a chase, as they say, and that was good. Well marshalled kick chase defence there. Doncaster on tackle 2 now with Briscoe, and the deep inside their own half, although Briscoe wins a penalty here. James Vella did warn Sheffield. He did say you have to release. The Australian official clearly communicating that to Connor Fitzsimmons. 7 penalties to 3 now against the Sheffield Eagles at 18 points apiece in a huge game that could decide where you finish ahead of the playoffs. The weight and the value of set restarts, errors, penalties, just worth a little bit more, you feel. So, 27 minutes to go here. Doncaster a full set now inside the Sheffield half, and they're playing it here on 1 on the Sheffield 40-metre line. It's going to be Knowles, who's back on for his second spell here this afternoon. Connor Jones, tackle 2. Here goes Connor Robinson. Aston. Feld. 20 out. Underneath the Sheffield post on tackle 3. Here goes Whitehead. Whitehead looks for running support. Finds it, and he smuggled the ball out the back. And around and underneath the post will go Connor Robinson. He scored a try in this fixture last year when Doncaster beat Sheffield by 26 points to 12. He's backed up the try last week. He scored against the Midland Hurricanes, and he's come up with his 6th try of the season. And will Connor Robinson score a more important try, because it's given Doncaster a 22-18 lead here. And again, we've just mentioned the value and worth of a penalty. That penalty piggybacked Doncaster deep inside the Sheffield half, and it was Whitehead against Butterworth, against Bauer, and somehow, with 3 Sheffield men around him, he smuggled the ball out the back, and Connor Robinson around and underneath the post and underneath the black dot. Perfect response from Richard Horne's side. 54th minute here in South Yorkshire. Doncaster, Sheffield going toe-to-toe at the start of the second half. You score, we'll score. Connor Bauer down, incidentally, just in front of the post. James Vella stopping the clock. It's looking like Connor Bauer will be able to continue. And Connor Robinson with the kick predictor turned on. And 100%. An opportunity here now for the try scorer to get a crucial 2 points and once again restore Doncaster's 6-point lead, which he does. So Doncaster 24, Sheffield Eagles 18 here in South Yorkshire. Well, Richard Horne will be absolutely delighted with what he's just seen there. He'll be most encouraged by his side's tenacity, attacking cohesion. And as we said, Whitehead on loan from Ulkiston Rovers. Tremendous try assist from the youngster. Conor Bauer still receiving medical treatment on his own try line here. Referee once again stopping the clock. Well, Doncaster, a stirring response after that Greg Eden solo score. 25 minutes to go in this one. Richard Horn, he'll be hoping that Doncaster keep their run of form going against their South Yorkshire rivals as we head towards the hour mark in the final 20 minutes. 2 games to go. Certainly this game this afternoon presents Doncaster with an opportunity to cement a top 4 finish and a home tie in the first round of the playoffs. Doncaster now with Horn. His uncle and head coach Richard will be delighted with his contributions out wide this afternoon. And on Dons TV, Eagles TV, West Yorkshire Radio, Conor Bauer able to continue with the strapping, but it's Doncaster now who are charging forward, and the 30 out late in this tackle count on the restart. Away from the Sheffield line, it's Whitehead again. Whitehead's wrapped up. This is the last. Robinson calls for it on the short side, gets it. Here's the kick chase from Sutcliffe and Horn, but Brown, he wins the penalty. He's been taken out in the air by Sutcliffe. And this is a relieving penalty here for Craig Lingard and the Eagles, because after doing a lot of defending and soaking up a lot of defensive pressure, it's a very, very soft end of set play from Doncaster. And it's going to be Conor Bauer who just drills it 10 metres forward. Well, Jordan Abdul was coming across to place kick that, and he probably would have got maybe an extra 15 to 20. But as it is, Will Oakes runs it in, tackle 1 on his own 20-metre line. Eden acting half. George Griffin back out there on the field for Connor Fitzsimmons. Craig Lingard's interchanges up to 5, 3 to go. Butterworth now to Bowes, to Abdul. Bussey over on that left-hand side. Ball's been stolen. Lewis Johnson holds his hand up. So too Corey Aston. Well, they've given the Doncaster supporters a booing and jeering, but the Doncaster players there just looked straight towards Richard Horn and the coaching position and held their hand up. The ball was stolen. There were 3 Doncaster players in that tackle, and that's just piggyback Sheffield now further up the field. First the penalty for Joe Brown being taken out off the ball, and then we've now had a penalty for the ball steal. So Martin Riley back out there on the field. 2 more interchanges for Craig Lingard left. We're heading towards the hour mark, and it's Martin Riley running the ball in. Tackle 1. Now Butterworth to Abdul. Harry Bowes back to Butterworth. Second phase play here from the Eagles. It's going to be Martin Riley to carry it in again. And he's 20 metres out. Slap bang in the centre of the field. Ellis now takes on Whitehead and Sutcliffe. 10 metres out with 2 tackles left on this set. Doncaster lead by 6, 24-18. Abdul, lovely dropped off ball to Bussey. Bussey to Bowes. Harry Bowes gives it to Bauer. Bauer keeps it going. It goes to Brown. Brown, oh, twinkle toes. Steps back on the inside. Somehow keeps that in the field of play. This is the last. They're still 10 metres out. Abdul calls for it, gets it. Kicks up, looks for Gill. Ball's been knocked on by Doncaster, but the referee's going to say which way's this one going. It's a big, big decision here. Oh, it's gone Doncaster's way. James Vella is going to say Kieran Gill knocks that one on. It was a frantic last tackle play here. Ball towards the corner. And the referee, James Vella, saying that the ball was knocked on by Kieran Gill. Just a 4th error from Sheffield. And as we find ourselves inching towards the hour mark, Doncaster, after getting the green on that decision, they've just given them forward pass here, 20 out from their own line. Well, that will not please Richard Horn. They've defended well. And the message from Craig Lingard here below our commentary position, he's trying to calm things down and get the message to his players. There's still 20 minutes to go here at the club, Doncaster Sports Village. Dons TV, Eagles TV. That's a 9th error in this game now from Doncaster. Far from being at their best, they continue to give opportunities to the Eagles as Abdul from the base of the scrum feeds it over to the former Castleford Brisbane man, Greg Eden, who's 5 out from that Doncaster line. Now Butterworth to Riley. Martin Riley's going to have a tilt and a strong charge. He's still going, Martin Riley. Jacob Jones has to halt his forward momentum and progress, but is it just delaying the inevitable as Griffin's over the line? And as Griffin got it down, the posts are shaking. James Vella says no try in the field of play. And now Doncaster have come up with possession, and James Vella's given another penalty here to Sheffield because Rhys Butterworth's been impeded underneath the post. Well, all of a sudden, the penalty count moments ago was 7-2. It's now 7-6. So, Sheffield, they've had 4 quick penalties. Can they turn this pressure into points on the board? We've just hit the hour mark. Abdul to Bussey. Bussey draws in 3-4 Doncaster defenders. 15 to the left-hand side of the post as Butterworth now gives it to Ellis. Ellis, the former Hulkester Rovers man, wrapped up by Sutcliffe and Jones underneath the Doncaster post in the sunshine here. Butterworth short ball to Griffin, tackle free, Griffin denied. 2 metres out. Martin Riley looking for his second try of the season, but he's held up in goal, and once again more desperate defending is rewarded. Doncaster keep the Eagles out. Tackle 4, back to the 10, Riley plays it. Abdul now, and this is the last for Sheffield. Lynn and Briscoe, good edge defence. Kieran Gill's got it. Kieran Gill kicks it towards the in-goal area, and Sheffield have made a hash of that on the last. No real attacking structure set. Ellis and Eden were calling for the ball in centre field. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a mess from Abdul with just Kieran Gill on that far stand touchline. And I think there was a forward pass involved in that play. Kieran Gill, nothing wrong with a kick from Gill into the in-goal area for Gebby to deal with. But as we said, just when you want a little bit of composure, it just went afar. So, just past the hour mark here in South Yorkshire. A lovely Sunday afternoon, 22-degree heat for this one. As Connor Jones is out of acting half. Now Reece Lynn, spent 11 seasons with Wakefield. He's up to halfway. Connor Jones out of acting half. To Robinson, to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe draws in Griffin, skips past him. Can't get past Riley and Butterworth, and Harry Bowes comes in as that last Sheffield man, and this is the last now. Corey Aston, who's by and large been kept quiet this afternoon by the Eagles, kicks towards Eden, and Greg Eden does well. Well, it's been an energy-sapping game, and there's another penalty here. Doncaster holding down. Well, the Doncaster supporters absolutely furious with referee James Vella there, but James Vella, I'm sure, as all referees do mentally, that little clock in the head when it got to 2 to 3 seconds and Doncaster was still on Greg Eden, pinning him down. It's a penalty. Abdul up to halfway. A lovely place kick from the former Catalans London man, and Kieran Gill runs it in tackle 1, 5 inside the Doncaster half. Abdul now to Riley. This time it is a bit of a more calm, direct set. Butterworth now to Harry Bowes. 25 out, tackle 3. 2 to go here. Set restart given to Sheffield. Harry Bowes held down in the tackle. So Butterworth has it, and that's tackle 1. Connor Jones does well. Forces Butterworth back. That's the 3rd set restart Doncaster have conceded now. As we see Horn and Sutcliffe bring down Connor Bauer, 20 out. 10 in from touch. Eden, Riley. This is Griffin. Targets Mustafa and Whitehead. Knowles comes in as that third man. And that leaves Doncaster short on that left edge. And Martin Riley's powering his way 2 metres out under the nose of James Vella. Now it's Butterworth. Back across the face of the post to go with Ellis. Ellis denied by Whitehead. Last-ditch defence. This is the last tackle as Reece Butterworth runs it in on the power play. Gives it back to Griffin. Abdul crossfield kick. Looking for Walkley. Who's come up with the ball? Sheffield have it, but they're denied. 2 metres out as Briscoe and Lynn, they deal with that attacking threat of Billy Walkley, who's been in impressive form of late. 15 tries in his last 10 games. And again, you just feel after a very, very structured start to that set, it just went a little bit haphazard. Butterworth didn't really realise it was the last. He was underneath the Doncaster post, 5 metres out, saw the referee's arm, and then Sheffield just rushing the ball. And to the credit, they managed to get it to Abdul, but he was under immense pressure from that blue wall of Doncaster defence. Referee stopped the clock here. Reece Lynn down over in that far corner. We're in the final 15 minutes here on West Yorkshire Radio, Dons TV, Eagles TV. Whether you're listening on the radio, watching on the stream, hopefully you're enjoying this one. It's looking like we're going to go the distance on another enthralling Sunday afternoon for the championship. As we said, big penultimate round of the championship season. Referee still has the clock stopped here. Well, last week, as we said, Sheffield, it all came down to Doolan, the Hunslet kicker, after he scored with 90 seconds to go. He couldn't convert to earn Hunslet a share of the spoils. That's one that Sheffield might feel they got away with. I guess after the heartbreak the previous week when Josh Drinkwater's drop goal with just 11 seconds to go broke the Eagles' hearts in that 31-30 game. Well, this has just had about everything here. Are we going to have that grandstand finale? Because 15 minutes to go. Everybody's back up on the feet. And Doncaster, they're going to have to bring on Watson Boas here. And I think it's a head injury assessment. That's what the officials are saying. So, just waiting for Watson Boas to come on, which he does. Not quite sure if we're going to see Reece Lynn again. He has been ordered by the doctor and he has to leave the field for a head injury assessment. And with 15 minutes to go, the head injury assessment period is exactly 15 minutes. So, play back on here. Ball's come loose. And it's a penalty to Doncaster. Oh, these are crucial. Oh, Doncaster, Sheffield backs turned. They're running it with Gebbe here. He's brought down just outside his own 20-metre line. Well, that was on tackle number 1 or before tackle number 1. James Vella was pointed at George Griffin for something that happened in that far stand corner. Not that Doncaster are going to complain. Lewis Johnson, tackle 2. 8 shy of halfway. Here goes Moses Mustafa. Open the scoring after 4 minutes. Right at the start of this game. Doncaster 24, Sheffield 18 here on West Yorkshire Radio, Dons TV, Eagles TV. Corey Aston's lost possession. They're appealing for a penalty, Doncaster. And 15 metres inside the Sheffield half with still tackles to go. Corey Aston's come up with error number 10 of the afternoon for Richard Hornside. And still, there's life yet here in this Sheffield side. Corey Aston's got it. And he's just knocked it on there, playing it. Well, he's appealing. Greg Eden a strained knee might have dislodged that ball as he went to play it. It certainly looked that way on the big screen replay. So Sheffield perhaps got a decision in their favour. Kieran Gill from the scrub, tackle 1. Griffin on halfway, tackle 2. Centre field. Reece Butterworth in there and acting half. Moves it on this main stand side to Ellis. Now to Eden. He's wrapped up by Horn, Mustafa and Sutcliffe. Mustafa and Sutcliffe, 2 former Leeds men. As Butterworth out of acting half now to Bowes, to Riley. And Riley runs forward and he's looking for support, Riley, but he can't smuggle the ball out. He's 25 out though. Just to the left of centre field. As Harry Bowes runs it into the 20. And this is going to be a last tackle play here for the Eagles. 15 out, down by 6. Abdul keeps the ball going to Eden. Back to Abdul. Abdul, crossfield kick. He's put far too much on that one. He was looking for Brown. It was taken by Farimo. And the former Parramatta Hull FC man is going to tap the ball on the 20 on the 0 tackle. So Doncaster have the extra set. And here goes Adine Gebbe down the middle. Well, it's Watson Boas actually. And Watson Boas has won the penalty. Another penalty for a ball steal here. Referee saying Griffin and Butterworth. Sheffield's 14 and 15 involved in that one. And these are costly penalties now that are racking up against the Eagles. It appeared 10 minutes ago when Doncaster were conceding a glut of penalties and set restarts for discipline, that Doncaster were perhaps going to capitulate. But now they've got a glorious opportunity here because we've got 12 minutes to go. And it's Watson Boas who won that penalty, who will play the ball, tackle 1, 20 out. 15 out on 2, underneath the post with Mustafa. Here goes Connor Jones, the Australian former Featherstone man. Denied on his back by Griffin. Desperate defence. 3 gone, 2 to go. Robinson has it. A lovely sweeping move to Horn, but Brown, he made that tackle count. And he wraps up Horn, 20 out. They've lost a little bit of ground here as Gebbe gives it to Robinson. Robinson kicks, looks for Boas, but Kieran Gill puts his body on the line. And Kieran Gill, he had to read that kick. Otherwise, it was potentially game over. If Doncaster do score a 5th try, I don't think there's any way back for Sheffield. But in energy-sapping conditions, as we head to the final 10 minutes, where there's going to be a lot of fatigue in the legs of these part-time players, this is where the game's going to be won and lost as Reece Butterworth leaves the field. Corey Johnson comes on alongside Massi Matongo. That's Sheffield 7th and 8th, their final interchange. And they're on the last tackle now, just shy of halfway, as Abdul sends one deep down the throat there of Gebbe. And Gebbe from the 10 to the 20, brought down on the 30-metre line. Good run there from Gebbe, the Papua New Guinean powerhouse. And here's Watson Boas, another Papua New Guinean powerhouse. Won the Queensland Cup with PNG Hunters in 2017. He knows what it's like to be a part of a winning team, the culture and that backbone. Here goes Sui Matagi, who's also just come off the interchange bench for Richard Horn's side. Sui Matagi, he carries Doncaster 10 inside the Sheffield half. Connor Jones now to Maziz Mustafa. 25 out, just to the right-hand side of the post. James Vella says that's the 5th and last tackle. Aston targets Walkley. Walkley takes it 5 out from his line. And Sheffield penned deep inside their own half here. And that's exactly where Richard Horn and Doncaster will want the Eagles, because on tackle 2, the 15 away from their own line with Greg Eden, Joe Brown now goes straight down the middle. He has to take on that role of prop forward as Will Oakes on tackle 4 somehow gets the ball back to Eden, who called for it. Now to Griffin, and that play is going to earn Sheffield 20 valuable metres up the field, because they're 5 shy of halfway on tackle 4. They come surging up and over halfway here with Abdul. Bounces off Brad Knowles, keeps the ball going. and Sheffield, they're on the last tackle now, 30 metres out. Quick play the ball, and it's going to be Abdul who kicks towards Gill. Gill, can he get there? Doncaster have knocked the ball on, and they've earned a repeat set of 6 here. And it's going to be a scrum, headed feet to Sheffield. 10 out from the Doncaster line. The Sheffield supporters on the far stand side, you can hear them. They're showing their appreciation for that effort from Abdul. Outside kick chase from Gill, and Gebby's knocked it forward, right in view of referee James Vella. Another error from Doncaster. They've got to show their steel, their resolve in defence, because with 8 minutes to go, and it's Doncaster 24, Sheffield 18. Johnson and Robinson with the tries for Doncaster in the second half. Eden for the Eagles from the scrum. Gill runs it into Johnson on tackle 1. Is this the moment? Sheffield draw level once again. Massimo Tongo, tackle 2. Takes 3 Doncaster defenders with him. He's 5 away from the prize. Martin Riley is told to drop to the floor because Griffin was the decoy dummy runner and he'd impeded a Doncaster man. So quick play the ball, and here goes Griffin. He's over the line. He's pushed back in the field of play. He's held up. We're going back to the 10. Tackle 4. There'll be 1 to go after this. Doncaster's desperate defence keeping the Eagles at bay. So Griffin, 10 metres out. Now to Johnson, to Abdul, to Ellis. Eden denied by Aston. And this is the last for Sheffield. The game on the line. There's 7 to go. They're down by 6 as Johnson gives it to Eden, and Eden's denied by Gebby. 2 metres out. Lovely power play move from Sheffield. But Corey Aston, indeed Gebby, alert to the danger. And Sheffield and Greg Eden, they're denied. One of the defensive plays of the championship season, that one, in a game that matters. Doncaster 24, Sheffield 18, and Doncaster, they've gone without the ball, and Sheffield now, they've got another opportunity. 10 out from that Doncaster line. That's 13 errors now from Doncaster. Another gift-wrapped opportunity for the Eagles. Well, oh boy, with 6 minutes to go here. Sheffield down by 6 as Griffin, wrapped up by Mustafa, a metre away. This is a Herculean defensive effort from Doncaster's. Johnson out of acting half, gives it to Riley. It's all Sheffield in the last 10 minutes. Can they get that equalising 4th try of the afternoon? Abdul kicks through. A Sheffield man's been taken out off the ball, has he? James Vella says no. And Doncaster, they survive. With 5 minutes to go, the scoreboard still reads Doncaster 24, Sheffield 18. Another thrilling championship fixture here on West Yorkshire Radio, Dons TV, Eagles TV. Whitehead runs it in. Sheffield not giving up the ghost yet because they're going to have at least another couple of sets of 6. It's all about what they do here defensively because Doncaster, they're going to kick from deep here. They're looking for a 40-20 here. Oh, it's just gone the right side for Sheffield, the wrong side for Doncaster. Either way, a tremendous kick on the last tackle. Sheffield have it 21 out from the road line. So that's where the kick came in on the last tackle from Connor Robinson. Very, very nearly a 40-20 from the Doncaster scrum half. Well, what have we got left in this one here? There's just 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes as Joe Brown just takes it in. Tackle 1. Well, whatever happens here, it's been a valiant performance by the Sheffield Eagles, and Doncaster will know they've been in one hell of a battle. Here goes Eden out of acting half to Oakes. Robinson rolls him over, 5 shy of halfway, 2 tackles left here. We've got 3 minutes left now as Massimo Tongo makes 10 metres inside the Doncaster half. Tackle number 4. Corey Johnson to Riley. Jordan Abdul moves it along to Bussey. Billy Walkley lifted above the horizontal. It's a penalty. Sheffield have a penalty for a dangerous tackle. Billy Walkley lifted above the horizontal by Luke Briscoe. And with the clock ticking down here, this is going to be Sheffield's final chance, you feel. Abdul calls for the ball, and he drills this one into the corner. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This Championship Round 25 fixture, this South Yorkshire derby, is going the distance this afternoon. So, an 8th penalty conceded by Doncaster. Massimo Tongo runs it in. Now it's going to be Abdul. Short crash ball to Bussey, is it? He's over the line. He's held up again. We're going back to the 10 again. Once again, Corey Aston putting his body on the line. Now Sheffield from the 10. Massimo Tongo like an express train. He's denied 2 metres out. We've got 2 minutes to go here. Can Sheffield, against all the odds? Connor Bauer, he's denied and rolled over. Tackle 4, there's 1 to go after this one. They're trying to pinch one out of acting half from Corey Johnson, and he's held up. And the game rests on this final play. James Vella, he has his right hand in the air. He says this is the 5th and last. And this game, this pulsating South Yorkshire derby, comes down to this final play. Abdul kicks one up. Sheffield have got it down with George Griffin. Griffin's got it down, has he? But the try's going to be disallowed. James Vella says knock on. And Craig Lingard's side. And the Eagles, they surely know now that is the game. And Doncaster's defence, that Herculean defensive resilience, has kept the Eagles out with just 30 seconds left on the clock. It's Doncaster 24, Sheffield 18. Although Sheffield have forced an error from Doncaster, and James Vella's going to say penalty to Doncaster, saying the ball's been stolen. And the hooter imminent here. It's going to be a narrow defeat for the Eagles, but what a performance here for Doncaster. Richard Horne can breathe a huge, huge sigh of relief. Doncaster continue their grip on a top 4 finish. It's been anything but comprehensive this afternoon. Last week, 44-16 over the Midland Hurricanes. This afternoon, Sheffield making Doncaster work for every moment, every minute, every second of this victory. The narrowest of margins. Who would have thought in the 54th minute when Connor Robinson took that ball out the back from Tom Whitehead, that was ultimately going to be the difference. We certainly felt that the scoring was going to continue in that helter-skelter fashion. But a scoreless final 25 minutes here. An absolute thrilling championship fixture for those watching on the stream or listening on the radio. And Richard Horne, he looks very, very relieved as he heads down from his coaching position pitch side. A lot of love and respect and warmth from the opposition players. They know they've played out a classic. And oh boy, I'd love to see a replay of that George Griffin try. That was disallowed with just seconds left. It was a last tackle play. Abdul, boot to ball. Well, we can see it now on the screen. Eden to Abdul. 15 out. Crossfield kick back towards the corner. Joe Brown knocks it to Griffin. Well, Griffin's touched it down over the line. But James Vella, I think he's ruling Joe Brown's pass went forward. Oh, controversy here at Doncaster. But credit where it's due. Doncaster did not allow their defence to recede, to buckle, and that means now Craig Lingard and the Eagles, they will be resigned to just a top 10 finish, and it's looking more than likely that they will face one of Whitehaven or Batley at home in week 1 of the playoffs. Well, thank you for everybody who's joined us this afternoon. An absolute gripper, an absolute thriller here at the Club Doncaster Sports Village. We'll see you on Thursday evening for Sheffield against the Widnes Vikings. That game that's been brought forward due to the 1895 Cup.